everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat Cafe. We're kind of coming to you from all over the place this week.
We are.
So I guess before we start, every time we ask, we just want to make sure that you can see us and hear us. I'm coming to you from my home in southwestern Ontario, Canada, and my friend Kelly is coming to you from...
Currently, I'm in Simpson Bay in Saint Martin, and the weather is beautiful here, but it's dark outside because it's 8 o'clock in this time zone. I wish it were still light so I could have everything opened up behind. I did have the patio opened up so that maybe we could have had a view into the harbor, but there is a restaurant next door with some really loud music, so I had to close that back up again. I didn't think anybody needed to hear the type of music that has been coming from that restaurant this week. So anyway, we're here, and we have a guest that will be joining us soon. Beth MacDonald Stone is going to chime in a little bit, and she'll be coming to us from Bermuda. So yes, we are
That's
really
right.
a very international podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Yes. And we have lots of people joining us that are coming from even further places. And thank you so much for joining in. And
I know I was putting some things in for the show, and boy, there were people in here early. It's so nice to see that, people are in there and they're chatting and having a good time. And it's just so nice to see everybody just that whole sense of community. And it just warms my heart. Just makes me feel good. So there was a lot of people in here early. There was Carol was in here, and she said it is her actual first live.
Yay, welcome, Carol.
That's right, welcome, Carol. And she's a new knitter, a relatively new knitter, and she's looking for a really easy vest pattern. So there was one vest pattern that was super easy that we showed in our vest episode, and I can't remember the name of it now, but Carol, if you go back and look at that, it'll be listed in there. But there's also the Stockholm slipover, which is just plain knitting. So, and if anybody else has any suggestions, you can just pop them into the chat there, and maybe Carol will have some ideas for that. So, we forget to say we are a knitting podcast.
Yes, we are. Well, we are a mostly knitting podcast. We talk about a lot of things, but we are mostly knitting. Yes.
Yeah. So
I wanted to show this
comment. Cafe.
Yes, I wanted to show this comment because this one tonight made me chuckle. Stacy, she missed the Knit Chat Cafe again, she says, because of a last-minute invitation to a hockey game. However, she snuck in a sock project. Go, Stacy.
Yeah. So
just keep your eyes on the puck. That always worries me about taking knitting to a hockey game. That puck leaves the rink way too often for my liking.
You sit behind the plexiglass portions.
I've seen it go over the plexiglass portions. So anyway, somebody asked if I got new glasses. I did not get new glasses. These are sort of an extra pair that I travel with. But the pair that you normally see me in on Tuesday nights is the pair that's best suited for me to read my computer screen with. I forgot to bring those. These are not them. So reading the comments is
so we're both going to have trouble reading comments tonight.
It's a little tricky. So yeah, I kind of, if you see me doing this, you'll know what I'm doing. I'm actually trying to read because these are my bifocals. And yes, but thank you for asking. Okay.
Well, we just want to welcome everybody. It's so nice to see so many people in here. And again, if you're new, thanks for joining us. And for the people that join us on a regular basis, we're so glad that you come back and spend time with us every week. When we started this, we never ever thought it would get to be like this.
No. But now, I mean, my goodness, this is very heartwarming when we get comments from some of the people that join us here that say, oh, the world stops for them on a Tuesday night. Hubbies know that it's their night to do dinners and things like that. They're sitting down and joining in the Knit Chat Cafe. Well, it's kind of like that, for me traveling here tonight, I'm thinking, nope. Because Mike had said earlier today, well, what do we want to do for dinner tonight? I said, we're cooking in tonight. We're going to have early dinner because, got the podcast. I need to get set up for that. I'm rearranging furniture in the apartment here to get me set up and trying to find some lighting that works. And so, yes, it means a lot. And I don't say that to I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that it means as much to me and to Noelle to be here on a Tuesday night as it does to those of you who are joining us here. We appreciate all of your efforts to make the time to carve out a little space for us. And we enjoy it so much that it doesn't matter where I am. I want to make sure that we're still doing this on a Tuesday night. So, yeah. Streamyard, and Streamyard is a fantastic platform that allows us to gather together from anywhere in the world, anywhere else.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so I had a couple of other little shout outs from the pre-game conversation.
Okay.
So,
the tailgate partiers.
Trudy said she was watching for a starry night. So Trudy, you'll really enjoy our special guest tonight.
Yes, you will.
It is a wonderful pattern. You'll really enjoy knitting it. And I just want to say, Nikki was in here and said that she's out of the hospital. So Nikki, we just want to send you all the love and healing vibes, and hopefully your recovery is well on its way and you get feeling better.
Yes.
So, and we're glad you're here with us tonight and joining in the conversation. So
Julia says it's the night that her husband Steve sings KnitChat, just like Zoe and Molly did.
Zoe and Molly. I'll have to play that again sometime because that was a while ago and they're so much older now.
Yes.
They still do that though. But anyway, okay. So we usually start with, and we should probably get moving because that's going to be here. So we have some things to get through. So first thing is I do go through and look and see if there was any questions. Kelly, did you have any questions?
I'm not going to lie. If I did, I haven't really checked this week. Okay.
Well, first thing was, this wasn't a question, but Julia had posted a little thing in our little local group here about ripping back mohair. So this was a reel that was on Instagram. It was by Romy Hill, and it's a reel. So I don't know how to save it or what to do with it. But anyways, if you go and subscribe to her, you can go down and you can look at it and it's still in there and you can save it to your favorites. But what she does and what she suggests for ripping back your mohair, because we know we always, when we take something off a project, when we're ripping it back, we probably take it off the needles and just start going like this, right? Ripping back and forth. But with mohair, what you're doing when you do that, because the mohair kind of sticks on itself, you know how you'll get those little wee clumps of all the mohair fibers that stick to the yarn? Well, it's because you're ripping it like this and back and it's collecting it along the way. So how she rips back the mohair, she kind of pins it down and then she takes right in the center of your project, just put in kind of like a blunt needle and just pull up. Pulls the stitches from each side of your work and then rolls up. Now, if you're knitting in the round, you're still probably going to have to turn that around and do the same thing, but it will stop your mohair from sticking on itself and it should be easier to rip that mohair out. Because I know I know I've done it and I've actually this is years ago, actually ended up throwing a bunch away because you pull it like this and it would just get
usually I just cut it off
that you just didn't get it. But I will definitely be trying that the next time that I have to rip back mohair. I will put her name and her Instagram handle in the show notes so that if you want to go back and take a look at that or favorite it, it'll be there. So Okay, so the next thing was someone asked if there was an easier cast on. They're doing a garment that calls for a provisional cast on, and they didn't want to do a provisional cast on. So there are some good tutorials out there for provisional. I think the one that I've seen the most lately is people that are using the that try-on cord, that silicone cord, and doing the provisional right over it, so the stitches are on that. So you could Google that.
And if you Laura Nelkin actually has a tutorial for that. Yes.
Yeah. But if you really don't want to do a provisional cast on, and if you're pretty sure that the cast on is going to be okay as far as the width of your necks, I find the easiest one to pick up stitches from if you're going around and picking up stitches is your German twisted, because then you've still got a bit of give in your cast on, because rather than just a regular long tail, you've still got some give in the cast on. And it gives you like those little kind of pearl bump edges to go in and pick up stitches from. So if you really don't want to do a provisional, you might want to try that. So
very good.
Okay, and then the next one, I had actually never seen this question before, and this was someone who wanted to know. They said that their needles, their Chaigu needles, over time have become dull. Now I don't know. She must be talking about wooden ones. I would think it can't be the metal ones. So she wondered if there was any way to sharpen them. Now I don't know whether you could sharpen the metal ones. I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't
not
think
get
so.
it smooth enough.
Not with materials that we might have in our home.
No.
Like a machine shop
But
could.
wooden ones you might be able to sand down a little bit.
Yes,
and
I
then
think
maybe
you could.
and then maybe I know one time I had some wooden needles that were a little bit rough. So if you sanded them down, they might be a little rough. But what I did with the ones that I had was take wax paper and rub it all around the needle, and then it kind of puts that little bit of a coating on it. So
yes.
I mean, I guess if they're wooden needles and you're not going to use them anymore because of that, I guess it's worth trying if you're not going to use them anyway, and see. And if it works and you get a good point from it, let us know. So, but I usually mostly use metal needles, so I've not found that I've had a problem with the needles becoming blunt.
Yeah, and Sarah is saying that she has sanded hers down, her wooden ones, with a very fine grit sandpaper, and she's even used a nail file in a pinch.
Okay. Yep.
Isabel said that there's a pseudo provisional cast on that you can try. It's called the cow yak. I'm going to put this on the screen because I'm sure that what I'm saying is not coming across. So, and I got the wrong comment. I don't know if I can get back up there. Come on. There it is. Okay.
Cow yak.
Cow
I think
yak.
I've heard of that.
Okay. I haven't heard of that one. So now I will definitely investigate that because I haven't heard of it at all. So I will look that one up. Thank you, Isabel. Okay. And
I had one more question. So the last one was someone wanted to know if we knew of a toe up sock pattern that had a heel flap and a gusset, but no picking up of stitches.
Yes. The Melisandre. I was going to say the Melisandre sock, which was the first time I did that. And as I was knitting that and the way it was coming together, I'm like, it's a good thing it's called Melisandre because she was the wizard on the Game of Thrones, and it was pure wizardry the way that sock came together, and I was just in awe of it. And then I couldn't wait to do the second sock. So it's also a free pattern on Ravelry. Okay. And what did you find?
I found this one. This is Biscot's Basic Toe Up Heel Flap Sock Pattern. This is a free pattern, but you have to go to Biscot's website to do it. So I will put the link in for both those patterns. So this, you can kind of see from that photo what the heel flap looks like. So you do get your your heel flap that's like the knit one, slip one, but it's all worked with, before you get up to that, it's all worked with widening out that gusset just by increasing stitches. So there's never a point where you actually have to pick up stitches. Okay. So you might want to give those a go. I know I don't mind picking up stitches, and I have been doing heel flaps and gussets quite a bit. Again, I don't mind picking up stitches, but I know that there's a few patterns that I have done. It is kind of nice when you do everything all at once too.
Yes.
For anybody that wants to try them, I will link those so that you can give them a try if you want to.
Okay.
So that was it for questions. And why don't you go into what you're wearing, because we'll talk about mine when Beth comes on.
Okay. Sure, I can do that. But then I was thinking we have a giveaway from last week too.
Oh yes,
we have to do.
Okay.
So I'll do this first though. Let me just get back over there. I miss my mouse. I had it in my hand. Why didn't I pack it? I am not good without a mouse. Can you maybe look for the banners for me? Sorry. So what I'm wearing is the Cloud9 tee by Andrea Yatman. And I know I did put a picture in there too, if you can pull that up. There we go. So it's a crop sweater, but when I knit it, honestly, I didn't think I was going to get as much wear out of it as I do. And now that it's done, like I probably didn't wear it very much in the first year. And then I started wearing it. And now it is a staple that goes into a suitcase for traveling because it's the Barocco Chai, which is a blend of linen and silk, I think. It looks like it has silk in it because it's got like the silky neps. And honestly, the more I wear the sweater, the better the sweater gets. So this is something it breathes really well. So typically, like I wore it here on the plane because once, we got to a point where I knew it was going to be warm enough weather, I just packed the coat into the suitcase. And then I had this, I wear a little tank top under it. And then I just have kind of like some loose, like traveling capri pants. And it's such a comfortable outfit to travel in. It's like I said, it breathes really well and I can't recommend it enough. The pattern was really fun to do. It has that beautiful panel of lace down the front that I really like. And yeah, so I guess that's what I have to say about it. It had a fun 3-needle bind off up on the shoulders too.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates that seam, and somehow that just really makes the linen, I don't know, it incorporates the linen really well. And
it looks
I
good. Like the seam looks good. It gives it a little bit of structure up on the shoulders too.
It does.
Yeah.
So it, keeps it from sort of stretching out too much. But honestly, like I said, this is a staple. This is absolutely a travel staple now when I'm traveling anywhere warm. So
yeah, it looks good. So I know I have to do some more summer sweaters, but they're not my favorite to knit. So
well, there's no sleeves. It's as fun as knitting a vest.
I know. It's just I just would rather knit with wool fiber, animal fiber. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So last week was Valentine's Day, and Kelly had made some beautiful little notions pouches, or emergency chocolate pouches, whatever you want to put in.
Anything you need.
And we had 2 set aside to give away for any comments through the week, and the comments were wonderful. Like, I didn't respond to them because there was a lot of them, and people were like commenting. It was amazing to see what everybody was knitting. Like, It was so good to see there's so many people that are on board with the Advent projects and doing a little bit every week. There was lots of people that were doing Beth MacDonald Stone patterns, lots of people doing Riptide patterns. And yeah, it was just nice to go through and see what everybody else was knitting. I mean, I wanted to cast on everything.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I just can't do that because some things have to get finished.
Yes.
But, okay, so I pulled 2 winners. So we'll go through here. So the first one is Janet Miles, 8353. And Janet said she enjoyed the podcast as usual. I'm currently working on The Season Sock by Summerlee. So
so am I, Janet.
Yeah. So congratulations, Janet. And then the second winner is Darcy Spies, 828. And Darcy said she's knitting another classic by Espace Tricot, but she added a 32-stitch Celtic braid down the front. And she's using Knit Picks palette and a loft in the tarragon color. That will be beautiful, Darcy.
It will be. It will be beautiful. Yes. Yeah, it will be something similar like to this sweater where you've got something beautiful going on down the front. I love that idea. Yeah. What a clever thing to do to a very basic sweater. I mean, we can all do that, right? That's great. Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining in the fun of our little giveaway. And if you can send us, can you grab that banner?
I'll get it up. Yep.
Noelle's running the show tonight. She's got so much power. I just don't know if I can stand it. So if you can send us your full name and your mailing address, send that to knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. I will happily send that out in the mail. We're actually heading home tomorrow, so they will be out in the mail before the weekend if we hear from you. So
okay. So Kelly, did you finish anything this week?
I did not, but we have a guest. I've heard the doorbell. Do we want to?
Well, let's just do finishes, and then we'll go back.
You've got some finishes. I don't have any finishes.
Okay, so I finished a couple of things. So the first one is my cocktail mitts, and just so that you know that I did finish 2, I'll put them both on. So they are done. So these are let me just grab the banner.
I think I can do that part.
Can you do that? Okay, so these are the cocktail fingerless mitts by Heidi Heinrichs. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. You can see the detail when you go around the cuff. It's got a little ruffle at the bottom, and then you get a little tiny bit of lace work before you get into the body of the mitt. And then again, you get the little bit of lace work up at the top. So some of the changes that I made this cuff a little bit longer. I think it was only 10 rows. I did 20. And then when you got up here, they were going to end them like right down here, but I wanted it a little bit longer. So I just added some more stocking stitch in before I got to the top. So these are done in Hedgehog Fibers Merino Cashmere, which is I would say it's either a heavy lace or a light fingering, and it's 300 meters in 50 grams. It is 50% merino, 50% cashmere, and it feels amazing.
They look
and I know
beautiful.
We had a comment about that fingerless mitts that we said that fingerless mitts weren't that warm. Well, they're not that warm for winter being outside if it's super cold. They're fine for in the house if your hands are cold, or in the fall, because I always find it's a little bit cool. They're fine for that. And these will be perfect for that. And even though they're lightweight, the cashmere and the merino, they create a really nice warm fabric. So that's the first, and that took, I think only like, I think it was a little over 25 grams to do them. So I still have like a half a skein left of that yarn that I'm going to have to figure out something.
Totally got that sense of what it must be for people that are joining us from different climates than ours, because I'm sitting here, I've closed everything up. So I've put the air conditioner back on, and it is a balmy 28 degrees outside, and you're sitting there in mittens. And I know that I'm heading home to that tomorrow, but it feels very weird to be thinking about mittens in this climate. So now I kind of get it.
So, okay. And so my second finish, this was actually finished before, but I couldn't show it because it hadn't been released yet. But this is the Riptide hat by Jennifer Shields Toland.
It's so pretty.
I think it was out last week. So this was a test. I did mine in Madeline Tosh DK in the colorway Modern Fair Isle. And I held it with the Zambezi from Fleece Artist, which is a mohair silk in the color Ivory, which is like, it's an ivory, but it kind of fades in and out a little bit. It's a really pretty color.
It's very pretty.
And then my pom-pom is just, I think I got this pom-pom at Country Yarns.
Oh, so, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's a snap-on pom-pom, so you can take it off before you wash the hat. So you can see the Riptide pattern going down the two sides of the hat. And then in between, you've got your right in here, you've got your broken pattern. So yeah, it's super, super easy. Nice. You felt it. It's a nice, warm, squishy hat. It was less than one skein of the DK weight yarn to do the hat. I think I still had maybe 30 grams left from it. So, and I did it. It is a little bit, I can wear it a little bit slouchy, but you could also shorten it up a bit if you just wanted it just to be like a little beanie style. But yeah, it was really fun to knit and a great addition to the
Riptide family. Yes.
So, okay. So do we want it? We'll bring Beth in here.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
So welcome from Bermuda to St. Martin to Sarnia.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's 3 different temperature zones too, because St. Martin seems a lot warmer than it is in Bermuda, but Sarnia seems a lot colder too. So I think
it was nice and sunny today, but it didn't get above freezing.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're probably a good like 25 degrees between the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Beth, I don't know if you can see, you don't see comments, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, so if there's any questions, if I see them that are directed at you, I will let you know. And I need to take that banner down.
Yeah, I was looking for it to take down. There you go.
Okay, so first of all, I guess we'll talk a little bit about what you're wearing.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm wearing the Deep Dean. Deep Dean was a big manor house in a certain area in the island that I didn't even realize that it was the name of the manor house. I just assumed it was the neighborhood, which had right on Harrington Sound with really deep water. So Deep Dean. Anyways, this is so that's the name of the pattern. And it's kind of traditional sort of what I would think of as a traditional sort of fisherman sweater, which is why I call it Deep Dean water. A lot of deep fish. And so, Harrington Sound's known for really a lot of hugely deep and very strange sea creatures living in it. So that seriously. So Deep Dean. So I knit it twice. I knit it once with 2 colors. This is my first one where I wanted to be sort of a modern version. And so all knits and purls, really easy in the round, top down, seamless. And then I thought it was so pretty that it would be nice in a single color, which is here. Yeah. And and so between the two of them, it's a fun, engaging pattern. I've done them with the sleeves plain, but test knitters have also done with a pattern down the sleeves as well. And I know Noelle's done another 2-color version, which I love.
A little bit different. Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So really, it's a simple pattern. So to throw in your own.
Well, I think this was the sweater you had on at Rhinebeck when we talked to you at Rhinebeck.
It is.
And that was that one. Yes.
Yeah.
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 So, and we both wanted to do it right then. So,
right away.
So so my version is actually, it's a solid color, but just where you've got your garter stitch rows that separate out the different sections. I just did those with 2 strands of mohair held together, just to give it a tiny bit of, a tiny bit of. Well, this one isn't even really that contrasty, right? You just get that kind of low contrast. So that's what's nice about something like this, though, because Kelly also did one, and hers is a solid color.
Yes, mine's actually a similar to colors to this. And I wanted to bring it with me, Beth. I thought, well, it will fit in the suitcase, but I was concerned that it might be too warm to wear it down here to do the podcast. So, but I can't wait. So I'm excited about it because now I have a sweater to go home to and start wearing right away. I love it. I love the fit. It was so fun to knit. It was just a great pattern.
Good.
Okay. So Beth, people are asking what the yarns are that you used in yours.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So in the 2-color version, so basically it's a DK weight sweater. In the 2-color version, I'm using the Wandering Flock, lavender, ice, and citrine color here. I love purple because I'm going really gray, so it really coordinates, but I need more color. So I have the citrine to kind of give more color to the face. And then the other one that I knit is in the hedgehog fibers. And this was one of the first batches they did. And so it's just hedgehog fibers tweedy, and I think a more natural. Okay, they call it Graybow.
Okay.
So that's that. And but any DK weight, if I remember correctly, it's a 23 stitch gauge. So really bang on DK weight. And really simple, like beginner knitter level, I think. Wouldn't you say, both of you?
I think so. Yes.
I think so. There's nothing difficult in it. It's just watching when you get down to the bottom part, especially when the repeat is a little bit longer, just watching your stitches. That's all.
Yeah.
But it's not, there's nothing complicated.
Yeah. Maybe a good one to start with learning how to use a chart, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was, I know that we've had several other people that we've seen, like our friend Julia also did one, and I believe she used the hedgehog tweedy too, but hers was in like a lavender color.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's a great pattern. You could also do it. I could see it easily being a summer pattern with short sleeves.
Oh, totally. I mean, honestly, sort of where the sleeves cut off, you could just put some here and absolutely.
Yes, because when I was knitting it, once I got to that part and I finished it off, so then I had no sleeves on there yet. All I had left to do were the sleeves. I tried it on at that point just to sort of see where I was at and how I was liking it. And I thought then, it almost feels like I just need to do a little bit of ribbing and I'm good to go because of the way the pattern flows. So it's really versatile. It's not a pattern that you would buy and perhaps only make one sweater and say it's a one and done. I think there's a lot of options that you could do. Rosie is asking, she says she has a larger neck, or likes a larger neck, sorry. Oh. She's wondering, what would you suggest for her to accommodate that?
Well, I mean, very quickly, you could almost just even take off this ribbing. You could just start.
Or you could cast on the number of stitches that you have after your first increase.
Yeah, totally.
Right, like whatever. I think there was an increase shortly after the rib, right?
Yeah, very.
So you just
after the rib. I mean, that would eliminate what I'm sort of hesitating with is that would eliminate the short row shaping. I do high necklines.
That's right.
I do hair necklines, and I'm really sensitive about short row shaping for my body just because I am curved. And I really need that, and I'm going to need more of it just because I get more curved. But I mean, very easily you could just start basically at the chart. And if you could, I think I have all the stitch counts listed. So you could really find that stitch count and cast on there very easily. I mean, the other thing. And I'm
Do
just,
you think you could do it with just like stocking stitch, because stocking stitch is a little bit wider, and then just let it roll?
A rolled neck.
And then you could still put your
Yeah.
short rows in the back, right?
totally. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Or even, and I'm just trying to think about my increases, because I usually do increases on like increase stitches between increases per round. So I
right.
even wonder if you could start with like the second increase number and just do the mathematics to jump to the third, which I think would then mean it like increase 1 stitch out of every 4 versus 1 stitch out of every 3. I think if you could really easily with this one jump neck sizes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and through all my patterns, because people will find they are smaller in the neck. I don't usually go for wider necks at this point, but I mean, never say never. And I do I find inspiration everywhere, and I would never say absolutely. But I am so set. That's why I wear collared shirts. So I'm really, and scarves and stuff.
Yeah.
So
but I know, like I've knit a lot of your patterns, and it is pretty easy to adapt them just to different, like, because I mean, everybody's different, no matter what you do, no matter what pattern you do. Like I've even looking at this, like when I did this, I actually had to, in this section, even though I did the size 1, I have that extra row of, because my depth from here to here is longer than what is normal for someone that would be my size.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have increased it there. And then yet in the body, I know that Kelly had to do extra in the body, and I was fine with what it was. So everybody's body's different, right? So you kind of have to adjust it to fit.
And I'm a really big believer in that. You find your measurements and you find your sort of magic numbers and work to them, because I'm very short-waisted. Kelly, I think, is short-waisted like me, and Noelle's probably more standard.
Right, even though I'm short.
Yeah.
That's right. So it doesn't like
more proportional.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone's so different. I find a lot of comments also, not only with necks, but also with sleeves. And I mean, when we talk so much about sizes for chest, the sizes for sleeves are so different, or, what people are so comfortable
or sleeve
with.
length.
Yeah.
Like what everybody's ideal length is, even not just your diameter, but what are you comfortable with for length too, right? And everybody likes something different.
My dog has separation anxiety, and she just realized that I wasn't in the living room anymore. So she's just come like down the stairs, and my sons run after her trying to like, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, exactly. I think that answers things though for Rosie.
Yeah.
And yes, Rosie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply that you have a larger neck. I was saying it as I was reading the comment.
Everybody's just comfortable with different.
Yes, no, she
styles,
likes a larger neck, a larger neckline. Not that she has a larger neck. Sorry,
No,
Rosie.
Yeah, no one thought that.
Yeah, no.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so Beth, you have another pattern coming out later this week.
Yeah, so this is a pattern I've been working on for a long time, and I know Noelle's helped with too. This is so that everyone can just go to a yarn shop or a yarn festival and just fall in love with yarn and then work backwards in a way. So it's called the Burmy Basic. And again, it's on the same vein as what we're talking about, sort of knowing your sizes or knowing your dimensions or your whatever what works for you. So what this pattern is, it'll be in every stitch gauge from 12 stitches per 4 inches to 28 stitches per 4 inches, in a two stitch increments between. I'm going to release them 2 gauges at a time, just because my mind was going around in circles with numbers, trying to sort of put it all. I can't do it. So we're just going to do 2 stitch gauges at a time. I'll bundle them somehow on Ravelry. So if you purchase multiple, you'll get discounts for the future ones. But anyways, the idea is Burmy Basic. It's a really simple sweater pattern. This one I rolled up the cuffs. I ran out of yarn, but I thought it was kind of cool. I did 2 different cuffs, and this yarn is really fun. Anyway, so this is the 26 stitch gauge. It's simple neck, very simple increases. Very, very simple all the way around. And with the idea that you customize for your fit. I'm giving a lot of information in there. Well, a lot of suggestions in the cover letter of just, you can do this, that, and the other. And you can also add your own specialness where you don't need 2 different cups. My husband thinks that's horrific, but I think it's very cool. My husband's like, this is the 24 stitch one. You know, again, this is just holding La Bien-Aimée Feel XL double. That's really cool. I've just knit them fairly straight, where a lot of the testers have done different increases, like eyelet increases. Some are mixing yarns. You know, one person I just saw recently was putting a little, the small Peary color work in the yoke. It's really just designed for, you've got a basic pattern. Yep. So
I think it's genius. I think the fact that we all love to attend yarn shops and festivals, and we see yarn that we are blown away by, and then we stand there kind of overwhelmed going, oh, but what will the pattern be? And I think just the idea that we don't have to be restricted anymore once we have your pattern. We can just buy the yarn and then worry about that when we get it home. And like, I think you're right. Decorate it the way you want. And Noelle's sweater that she did, I love the way she did that sweater using that slub and then breaking it up with the mohair. I think that is such a beautiful, very subtle stripe. And it's just the fact, again, like that's another pattern that it's just part of your library, and there's no endless amounts of things that you can do with that very basic.
Completely.
Well,
and I think everyone's going to start realizing my foundation that I design off of now. And I'm going to have to get more creative, because I think one day, about 2 years ago, I kind of came across this sort of mathematical sequence that creates like a perfect sweater. And that's how this all kind of came to mind. And and so now I'm going to have to get creative, because everyone's going to see, you know, oh, she did it again in this, or, you know, even my the Somerset sweater, it's all using the same sort of, I mean, obviously you can change the neckline, you can change everything, but the increases here, it's all the same. You know, and you just add different color work. You can, you know, not all my patterns, I should say, because otherwise I'm giving away everything. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a really basic, successful formula. And it is a pattern. It's not like a recipe. It is a pattern. So you don't need, you know, to be an advanced knitter at all to use it.
But I think because the basic structure is there, and you know it's going to fit, it gives the knitter the chance to be creative with the yarns that they use and how they use
I was going to say that. Yeah, it gives you creative license to play, and it's exciting, because you know you've done the math, you've done the hard part for us, Beth. Now we get to have fun. It's
and you've got your gauge. So like for me, when I did it, it was actually kind of fun, because I was trying to figure out, okay, where am I going to put the stripes? Okay, and I went, okay, well, I have to look at my gauge and know how many rows is this, know how long I want the finished sweater, and then know where I'm going to space them, because I didn't want to end up with just a tiny stripe at the end. But I know that the numbers are going to work, so all I have to worry about is where I'm putting the stripes. Right.
Totally.
So
Sharon is mentioning that it's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, even if you just do an absolutely plain one, it's a beautiful pattern to let the yarn shine.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? And that's kind of what I've done, my approach, but I'm sort of, I want to knit one of all of them. I've done most, and it is a mathematical formula. So I'm not leaving people high and dry by not actually knitting it. Like it's been tech edited and everything like that. But in its simplicity, it's great. And what I'm hearing back from all the test knitters is their satisfaction in the fit. And that makes me really happy, of course. But now I think I've got test knitters coming back again and signing up for other sizes as well. And I can tell that the inspiration to, next time I'm going to do this, or next time, you know.
Well, it would even be a perfect pattern to use to do a scrappy project.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. As I reach down, so this is it's going to look kind of funny because I've got a scarf coming out of it. But yeah, so I'm working on another design.
Okay.
Why? We want to, why?
Yeah, you do have a scarf coming out of it, Beth.
I love scarves. I was collecting scarves since I was a teenager. I stole them. This one's I paid for, but the one I was wearing this morning when we were chatting, it was one that I stole from my mother when I was a teenager. I love scarves. But I am working on another design where it's totally scraps, and it's based on
that
the
looks
same
good.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
thing, with the turtleneck. And then I have, and whether this pattern will still have these little holes, but the idea is that
Go for the scarf.
you could thread through your scarf.
But yeah, but so that's something that you could put in or not put in depending on what you want.
Totally. And there's a pattern of that right now that is amazing called the party bow. Have you seen that? It's by designed by Andrea she's called Social Knitter or Knit LA. Check out, she's really great.
Yeah. It's big, isn't it?
It's big, but I was like,
yes,
it would be so much fun here too.
Yeah.
So and I just played with all my scraps, and I'm just doing this great, and I'm hoping it's gonna turn into sort of purple, and I'm hoping it's gonna be like a tunic, so that again with leggings or whatever, it's kind of almost like a short. But so with scraps, it's amazing. With anything, it's fun. The stripes,
Well, I think it's good too. Sharon mentioned earlier in the chat that it's a great beginner sweater because it is something that is straightforward. But I think, if somebody were to knit that as a beginner, and that would give them confidence, hey, I knit the sweater and it turned out, and it's not like something where they knit it and they're not so happy because the fit isn't everything that they expected. They know that you've done the math, and if they have gauge, it's definitely going to work out, and you've done a really good job of that. And so then the next time, if they use the pattern again, it will give them that liberty to be a little bit more creative and sort of stretch that creative muscle a tiny bit. So yeah.
And there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of interest lately with embroidery on knit, so it gives you the perfect pattern. Knit like a plain sweater and have a blank canvas to put what you want on it in embroidery.
Yeah, this one.
It's fun.
Somebody has asked if you're like, we know what the answer to this is, but somebody asked, is Beth in her closet? But no, Beth, tell us about this.
Yeah, it's a room. I used to, up until about 7 months ago or so, I had an interior design company. And when you have an interior design company, Maria, you need to have all the samples because we can't go to somewhere with samples. So this was my sample library. And I'm slowly, the other half of it, which I won't show everyone, but it's still filled with books. But I'm slowly transitioning it because I wound down my business, which I'm saying on social media. It's taking like every baby step. I wound it down about a year ago, but it's taken it's taken a year and a half to close now. Anyway, so I'm not in my closet. I'm in what we call the presentation room.
Well, I think it's a gorgeous backdrop for a knitting podcast to have all of those beautiful sweaters. Yes.
Yeah. And it's super handy to have all the ones I just separated this week. These are all ones I've designed. And it is so great to have it separated from all the sweaters I've knit because they're all kind of thought processes and I can see the thoughts more clearly. It's really fantastic. It really is helping my brain on like, where am I going and next designs and stuff. But anyways, so this is the 28 stitch gauge. And I thought this fabric that this yarn makes from Cocon was so exciting. But I was thinking like kind of to do sort of punk embroidery on it would be really fun. Like, just getting really creative. Yeah. That's definitely in my brain. I haven't set on anything, but this one is the one that I really want to do like something, I don't know, like a lightning bolt or something.
I think that would be great. I just bought a book on embroidery on knitwear, and I got that idea to get it because Sarah had it and she brought it to show, and Sarah's in here too. And she said that she just finished some embroidery on a sweater for her niece and it turned out amazing. And so I'm really kind of excited to do that. I have a couple of ready to wear sweaters that I'm going to start on rather than knitting a plain sweater that I can then fancy up with embroidery. So I'm going to start on something that's just, purchased and already in my wardrobe. But I think it's just a great concept. It's just one more thing that we're stepping up our game. That isn't just knit the sweater and wear it. It's just one other way that we can be creative.
The creativity. I mean, that's why it's funny with some podcasts I love watching because you can see when I'm very one-dimensional in my creativity, where it's very focused on knitting. But you can see with a lot of other people that it's through their whole existence, you know, and I find that so exciting, where I need to now have more time is to look for opportunities like embroidering on knits or or anything.
Well, again, that would be perfect for your basic sweaters, right? If anybody just wants to personalize it a little bit more, or so
totally, definitely. I remember in high school I had a jean jacket that I had painted a canvas.
Yes.
And I sewn the canvas in the back panel, and I just was kicking myself the other day for, I don't know what I did. I probably just, you know, lost it in the process of moving or whatever. But even something like, you know, there's so many options. There's so many things you can do.
I can remember bedazzling some denim jackets. And some runners. Yes.
Yeah.
Rosie's asking if you're coming to Knit City, Toronto.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Oh, do tell why.
Well, it's funny because my mom, I'm Bermudian, my mom's Bermudian, but she's in Canada because she's really stuck with the Canadian healthcare system. And so the first knitting thing, which would be a great, and she would love that as a daily outing, but I'm actually away that week.
Oh no.
So I can't go. I'm actually going on the Grocery Girls cruise up to Alaska that week.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Yeah, but I can't believe that Knit City, Canada is going to be in Toronto. And
yes,
you know, and my mother would love the visit. And I would love it too, because I think it'd be so much fun, but what bad timing.
Yeah.
Maybe in 2 years. So. I'd like to go back to Montreal though. I haven't been to Montreal since the referendum in 1994. So
okay.
Yeah.
We went both years to Montreal.
Next year is Montreal again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But
okay, so Beth, I have to ask you, is there a yarn store in Bermuda? Oh, okay.
No.
So then basically you get your yarn on your travels, or you order it, or
yeah, all of the above. And I have a really big stash, because even like right now I'm hankering to do a few projects, or even this that turtleneck that I'm working on. I know I'm going to run out of mohair, so I need to order it, but it's going to take about 2 or 3 weeks to get here. So I love the idea of being a minimalist, but in Bermuda you just can't be a minimalist. You have to assume for everything. So I'll order it, it'll get here, but it'll slow down that process. But you know, everything I have a lot of yarn. But it's funny how when you want to do a project, sometimes you just don't have what you're looking for.
I know.
Well, it's no different though than walking into a closet full of clothing going, oh, I have nothing to wear, right? We've all been there and done that. And it's the same thing with yarn.
Yeah.
Well, it's just sometimes you're going to do a sweater and you have that vision of what you want. And if you don't have that in your stash.
Yeah. Ironically, right now, it's a sweater my husband wants, and he wants sort of an Aran sweater, sort of a traditional Aran sweater. So he wants the natural wool color. And I don't have anything, you know, that would work. And it's funny. It's ironic that I'm like, oh, I'll have to order for you. And he's like, oh. So this one is, you know, this one's kind of funny, but yeah, I know I pick up and I purchase when I'm, the knitting festivals are great. I find them overwhelming too. So I try to have a list. And I do really well with online purchasing, because of course, then you can do a lot more research and you can be a lot more methodical about it. But between the two, and
so do you usually have a design idea and then look for the yarn, or do you have yarn and think of a design?
The second.
Yarn and you think of a design?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
this yarn, I knew I wanted to work with the Wandering Flock, and this was, I remember buying it at the Rhinebeck weekend, but it was at Indian Tangled, not this Indian Tangled the year ago. And so I know I'm looking at the two yarns. I knew I wanted to use them together, and I wasn't really sure how, but it worked out. And it wasn't, so I bought that, I guess it'll be October, and I didn't knit it. I could look at Ravelry, but I don't think I knit it until the spring. And then, you know, it comes out a lot like there's a long process, but yeah, it came out in February. So, but yeah. So I buy and then.
What got you started on your knitting journey? how did you learn to knit? Where did the bug come from?
Okay, so I learned to knit when I was a kid. My mom knit a lot. Well, not a lot. She knit for a period. We were doing a lot of car travels in Ontario. This is when we all lived in Toronto. And I remember my mom was trying to knit my father a sweater that was like an Aran sweater. No, it was a cabled sweater. And she kept on making a mistake. And I don't think she used stitch markers. So it was always like, oh, I got to go back to Aurelia. So from anyone from Southern Ontario.
Stitch marker.
Yeah. And now every time I use my stitch markers, I'm like, that would have saved her. But anyways, so knitting was around when I was growing up. It didn't really catch. I was taught to knit very young, and then I had, the little wine cork thing that you would.
Yeah,
the corker.
Yes.
Yep. That you get that cord, like you get I-cord basically almost.
Spool knitting.
Exactly.
Spool knitting. Yes.
Yeah. And then I remember going down the street in Toronto. There was a house where there was 8 kids, and we would go to their cottage, and the lady of the cottage would have enough of us kids. So after lunch, she wanted to have a quiet hour. So she would set us up on the porch, and we'd have to knit squares to make a blanket.
Oh, fun.
I never saw I'm sure as soon as we left, she was pulling that right out again. But it kept everything quiet and us out of the lake for a bit. So that's how it started. And then I wasn't interested in it. And then I had this interior design business, and it was a going concern. It was a fantastic business. And it economically doesn't make sense for me just to say we're done, but we're done. And and when I had my child, my husband and I work on the business. And so we had to sort of take shifts. So I would work from 4 a.m. till the kid had a nap. And then Jeff would come down and work and do the accounts and stuff. And then I would have the kid for the afternoon. We would have dinner, and then I'd want to fall asleep. And my husband wanted to spend time with me. So, but as soon as I sat on the couch, I was gone.
Yeah.
So knitting was something that I realized I could sit on the couch, and I was really interested in it. And I would stay awake for at least an hour and a half. And so that's how the knitting started. And then it became really compulsive. And then I was having problems with stitches. So then I took up crochet to learn to recognize stitches in knitting. And that really helped. So with just the structure of knitting and stuff. And then I haven't done crochet for a long time. But yeah, that's how it started. But it's always been part of my life, on and off.
And how did you make the leap from knitter of patterns to designer of patterns?
Well, you start to notice that you're changing things a lot, and then you start changing things a lot that they're not recognizable, and then, which is fine. And with that, then I started having my own ideas, and I started knitting a lot of my own things. And then I just started thinking, oh, it'd be fun to publish something or two, 1 or 2 things. So, so it's a really natural transition from I was knitting people's patterns. Actually, then I was test knitting people's patterns. And then I was questioning why they were doing things and learning a lot. Like usually there's a really good reason why a designer would do something. So that was really educational. And then the riffing would get more and more off-piste. And then started just knitting my own things and started to think about pattern writing. And it's not that daunting. And I think we all kind of knit that way. So if anyone is interested in pattern writing, I would say go for it. Occasionally I get emails like, is it hard to post patterns on Ravelry? No, Ravelry is amazing. It'll walk you through. The big thing for me was finding a tech editor, but there's an amazing resources on Ravelry to find tech editors. And I found amazing ones. I've worked with, I think 3 or 4 that have so far been all amazing. And then test knitters. But I have to say, as soon as I started doing a podcast, that's when it really leveled up, because people really want to know about your designs. And this is a way of communicating that. I found before having a podcast, they were kind of going to just to a very small group, where having a platform to talk about it was another. So it's a really natural, organic path. And I, as with any career, I think, or passion or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was your very, do you remember what your very first published pattern was?
Yeah, I do.
Reach back to my closet of sweaters here.
I know, right? I know, it's handy. I'm liking it. Although I don't know how long it's gonna last, because Kelly this morning asked what I think about and my husband was like, it's not a good idea. So this might be just a couple weeks. I don't know. I hope it's not, because it's really great. Anyways,
It's fun.
Yeah, and it's so handy. So this is my first published pattern, and it was published as a cardigan called Hanging Leaves. And oh yeah, here's that one. Or a pullover, the Hanging Leaves.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, sorry, can you, if I get the angle there, you can kind of see the motif.
Yeah, Sarah is saying that she made that in the pullover version.
Yeah, she had it on the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, did she?
Yeah. Yes. Or not this weekend, the last weekend.
It's still one of my. This one probably you can see it best. So I'll hold this one up.
Yeah, on the gold, you can see the pattern better.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite designs, and this is a bigger neck for those who prefer bigger necks.
Yes, Rosie has chimed in and said that she loves that neckline.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I love wearing this. I never undo the buttons. Isn't that funny? Most cardigans I never button up, but this one I never unbutton. But I don't know what that. I don't know. I find it's light as air but warm. It's great for travel. It packs into anything. I can dress it up. I wear this with a really cute black skirt with like a paper bag waistband and a bow in the front, and it's as dressy as I'll get, but it's fun. Yeah, and it's a really easy pattern. I like knitting to be relaxing and fun.
Barb wants to know when did you publish that pattern? How long have you been doing this?
Okay, good question. I am not really 100% sure. Off the top of my head, I would say 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I could be 3. It could be. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Was it before the pandemic?
I know.
Yes. That's how we mark everything.
Yeah. BC or AC. I'm pretty sure it was after the pandemic. I know I was in New York City in August. That's where we spend our August. Finishing it up. I knit it like 4 times. And I'm pretty sure it was probably 2020, maybe.
Okay. So 4 years, or going on 4 years.
2021 was when we could first travel again, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2021 then. Yeah, because Bermuda and the pandemic was not going to go there.
Yeah.
But
yes, you're already remote, and then to be not able to leave the island no matter what.
We weren't allowed to leave 1 kilometer from our house. But anyways, let's not go there. I've still got.
Okay, now Joanna's saying that Hanging Leaves was on Ravelry in 2019.
Oh, okay. So thanks, Joanna.
Yeah, you can't put anything by our friends here in the Knit Chat Cafe. They are really good behind the scenes on Ravelry.
Yep. Julie told it was October 2019.
Yeah, and Sarah's in there too. They've all been in Ravelry. They're fast. They're really fast.
Yeah, well, that's so good. I've got the tech editors right here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's flown by clearly.
Yeah.
So, and do you still have lots of ideas in your heads for more designs? And
I have a list because I can get distracted. Like I have tons of ideas. And then when I did this, there's I never finished that thought. So there's all those. And then, but do you know the feeling of when you bind something off and you have a lot you want to do, but then you're like, you can't remember what you want to do. And it's that sort of paralysis.
Yeah.
That's what I don't.
Okay, we may have lost.
Well,
Anyway.
hopefully she'll pop back in. Maybe it's a little internet glitch maybe for her.
Maybe. Anyway, we can take her out, and if it comes back on, put her back in.
Okay, that might be the best.
Oh, there she's back.
There she is.
You froze, Beth. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, now she's gone. Okay.
Sorry about that.
She just doesn't have there's no.
Maybe it's like being on FaceTime with Kendall. Invariably, the iPad will be on 1% for her. And then all of a sudden she's gone. And then I get a text message. Oh, sorry, my iPad died.
There we go.
Yeah. Sorry. I think my internet
just. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's warm. My son closed the door and everything. And now it's really warm in here.
Now you really feel like you're in a closet, right?
Yeah, I do actually. Oh, yeah. 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 I can't remember what we were talking about, but yeah. Lots of
about
your
2019.
Ideas. Yeah. No, you said when you finish a project, you feel like a type of paralysis. There's like
yeah. So I always try to sort of start something when you're like on before that last sleeve is finished or something rather, so that there's continuity. And also writing lists. So, when ideas come to me, try to write it down because they are kind of fleeting, I find. I'm sure everyone feels the same way where you get this great idea, but you're out for a walk or whatever. And when you're actually sitting at your desk, it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
so I have a long list.
The old theory, now we all have a phone to record our thoughts in, but it used to be, carry a notebook. Like when you wake up in the morning, if you have a dream, jot that dream down, or if you just have an idea, jot these ideas. Like, I don't know how you ever organized yourself to go back and find what these thoughts were on any given day, but it seems to be a little bit easier now with newer technology. But
yeah, I remember when I was in fine art school. So I feel the same inspired as I did when I was in art school as a teenage 20-year-old. And then I literally did have to sleep, and I had a notepad beside my bed, and I would wake up and I would scribble ideas down and fall. And as soon as I scribbled it down, I could fall back to a really deep sleep. If I didn't scribble it down, then you'd be tossing and turning, remember, or developing it further. But yeah, that sort of release of writing an idea down and getting it out, and then you're free to snooze.
Sharon People are commenting here how much they like your Pothos tea. Do you have that available behind you?
I'm sure I do. I'm trying to figure out if that was, it's all about the yarn and whether I think it can go on a hanger or not.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So where did I put that? If I don't have it here, that's kind of like, where did I put it?
Is it up top?
People are
Maybe
saying
on the
that it might be a summer, like people are saying that they really like it as a summer top, that it's such an amazing fit and it's their favorite summer tee.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad you like it. I have separated my summer tops and I haven't thought about them. So they're in another, I should bring them so that all the designs that I've done for summer are in a totally different, except I have another summer design that I still have, that I designed last spring. And I had tech edited it, but I haven't had it test knit. And I'm sort of the flurry of the Burmese basics, but this I'm hoping will be the next.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Gorgeous.
We like that.
Oh, good. Yeah. So that one's really, I wore this quite a bit. This is from using Durham Natura Antigone yarn, which is really lovely. So raglan, but with this sort of argyle pattern, which I called the mid-ocean tee, mid-ocean being a golf club here. And we're also in the middle of the ocean. So that will be going out for testing hopefully pretty soon. And actually when I fold it, you can probably see the stitch pattern.
It's nice.
That's really nice.
And easy to do. It's fun. Like it's just the right amount of engaging. It won't break your brain, which
a lot of your patterns like this one, the deep D, and it was nice because it's all, you finish one little section and then you get to do something else and then you get to do something else, but it's never just boring. Like you're engaged in the knit, right?
Yeah, to get to the next.
I know I get a little tired when I get to something and I get all the fun stuff done and then I just have to do stocking stitch. And stocking stitch is good for certain situations, but sometimes you just need a little more.
Totally. Yeah, definitely. You just need a little more. I am itching to do cables right now, but that's what I get.
Cables are nice. We like cables.
Yeah. And I think it has so much to do with yarn, though. It needs to be a nice stretchy yarn, like a bouncy yarn, because I've done a few cable things and I've picked firmer yarn and it's been anything but fun. So I know I'm ruminating in that direction, but I know I have to be smarter with my yarn choices too, to make
Well,
it.
your Pothos tea, everybody's saying, was done in navy. Does that ring a bell as to?
Yeah, I think it's upstairs.
Was it
my
was it a summer yarn?
It was a DK, if I remember correctly, a DK weight summer yarn. And it has vines down here. It's a raglan with vines down in the raglan. It's a great one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. I just haven't knit it yet.
It's in my I think it's in my library too, or definitely in my favorites, because I keep going back to it. It's I had picked out some summer cotton blend yarn to do it in because I thought it would be a great summer pattern.
Yeah, it is. It's really held its shape too. And so I wish I remembered off the top of my head what the yarn I used.
Okay, Isabel has already checked it out for you. She says that you made it with the Rowan Denim Revive.
Oh yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah. I told you they're fast, Beth. We're so lucky.
Yeah. No, it's great. That's a great yarn. And it really holds up. Because do you not find that a lot of some cotton can really wear poorly very quickly?
Yeah.
Yes. And I also remember the Cotton Revive from Rowan, there's a little bit of a bounce so that you don't feel that you're, forcing twine. So it's a pleasure to knit and a pleasure to wear. It's cool and it wears really well. Yeah, I don't think mine looks a day old, and I've worn it.
Okay, so the Argyle tee that you just held up, Beth wants to know if you could do that as a vest. Does it have sleeves on it?
It
has raglan sleeves.
It has
raglan.
Sleeves.
Okay.
So maybe I could figure out in the future how to do a vest. It wouldn't be impossible. I would just probably, it's more about the pattern placement, because what I did in this pattern, and I literally knit this, and this last winter was a hotter winter, and I knit it in the late winter, early spring, I'm pretty sure. But what I was doing here was mathematically finding how the raglan,
center.
Yeah, how the raglan fit, or how the pattern fit the raglan.
Right.
I'd have to really rethink it to bring it out to the sleeves, because then it's a more vertical line here.
Yeah.
Right.
Rather than the diagonal, which the diamonds are following. Yeah, I need to do more vests. Because even the other one that I want to do as a vest, which would be really easy to do as a vest, is this completely opposite. This is a very wintry one.
Yes.
Your rum line.
The rub line, yeah. And this, thanks. And the rum line would be very easy, because instead of carrying the raglan to the sleeves, you could very easily, my idea would be to do an I-cord in the darker main color, or bind off, and I'm dithering between doing the I-cord that it's all in one, so you don't have any finish work, or to have it just end and then you pick up stitches for ribbed, just an inch of ribbing. I like both looks. I just have to come to a solution there. But this is definitely one that I'd like to do as a vest for next winter. I'm kind of I have to say the Burmy Basics have been mentally all encompassing. I have another one that's coming out in early March, and that's this one here.
Oh, I like that. I really like that one.
This one's lovely to wear, and I'm knitting another one in cooler tones right now, which I'm kind of pushing to do, because I'd like to have them both, so that I do find that if I come out with something and it's one color, my friend's back. If it's one, it's just sort of the red and pink. People have a harder time visualizing another color, so I'm going to do that. I'm working on it now hard to have. I'm just going to let her in because she'll cry. If I have it in the blues and greens, then people can maybe visualize it and be more inspired. Yeah.
Now that sweater, Beth, the tamarind, right?
Yeah.
And did you do yours in, is it Birdie?
I did. I used Birdie. Birdie is really interesting. I've worked a lot with Birdie, and I've also worked with Moondrake. But
you added a holst. You held a holst with it, though, did you not?
I did. So I like a carry along with things, because I find what we all talk about with holst, it fills out. So it's kind of a really like almost like a felted texture. And Moondrake does the same thing, the Moondrake Fua Fua.
And I think the Knitting Loft Lush would work as well.
Yes.
Yes,
really
that's
like
what
that.
I was thinking of using. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. But along with what I call the carry-alongs, it just makes I mean, it's a really, without it being, it's still drapey, but it's still dense, but it's still light as a feather, which is that wonderful thing. So the other one I'm knitting is upstairs, but you would be able to see that it's without it being blocked, it's not so full. You know, it has a fold, and this is really a good example of when a yarn sort of folds. So yeah, I love this, and this is just, you know, an even bigger collar, short rows in the collar, an exaggerated hem and cuffs. Yeah, this is another great one. I always sort of gear sweaters for traveling with, where this would be a really great one because again, it would fold to nothing. It's light as air, warm and cozy, and you could so easily dress it up or dress it down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look too ski hill.
Yeah.
Which I like that look myself.
Well, I think when you've got the yarn that's got some texture in it like that, like it takes it away from the like the old ski sweaters that were like the really tight knit, but all the So
yeah.
And I think the lighter fabric and the more drapey fabric is a little bit more comfortable to wear too.
Yeah. I'm really inspired also style-wise by the sort of luxury travel wear that's, you know, and that's what I want to wear too. I mean, now that I'm retired from interior design where I have to dress up and wear, you know, I had beautiful dresses and skirts. It's just so funny how I approach my closet now.
Yes, I am with you. I got to do that too after retiring from a job where I had to be dressed up all the time. Now it's like you get to wear more of what you want, but I still want to look. I want to look good wearing what I want too, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I can see my shift, you know, in what what I'm reaching for and what I want to design. So I think I'm also in a phase of looser and baggier, but we'll see.
Well, not even looser and baggier, but just comfortable.
Comfort is key. Yeah,
but still looking put together. You always look very put together. I think it's the scarves. It's your scarves.
Yeah. Love my scarves.
Okay, Beth, we have a question about your hangers. Sure. Are those special hangers that you have your sweaters hanging on?
No, I did as much research as I could. I've got the velvet hangers that are the narrow ones upstairs, and I know they really affect knitwear, so I didn't do that. What I did is I tried to find a suit hanger, but I wanted something with texture.
Okay.
Not enough texture like Velcro that would affect the knitting, but something that would sort of hold it. And again, I'm not sure if I'm condoning, suggesting, promoting hangers. This may not be a good idea.
We might ask you this again in a couple of months to see if the sweaters are still on.
Someone does want to know where you got them. Did you get them in Bermuda or Amazon?
Oh, no,
okay.
No. Trust me.
Okay.
Amazon.com.
So,
yeah, no. Bermuda is great, but I do a lot of shipping.
Catherine asked earlier, are there actually any sheep on Bermuda at all?
I believe there are. I believe there are a few. Friends of mine own a very small, what a Canadian would laugh at if I said a farm. They'd call it a kitchen garden. And they have sheep, but actually they don't have the space for sheep, so they send them around the island. And they were for a while they were at a big hotel that's closed down, and they were just basically mowing the lawn to keep the groundskeeping costs down. I think there are sometimes they're up in Dockyard, again, mowing lawns. But they get moved around, but I think there's maybe a handful.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a little farm behind me that it's a petting zoo. There might be a sheep or two there every once in a while, but they're all part of the same kind of flock of the one farmer.
Isabel likes your term carry along as a yarn.
Oh.
She wants to know if that's like mine and Noelle's. We have term. I think Noelle coined it for sure. She says that it doesn't count as adding to your stash when you buy mohair because mohair is a condiment. You rarely knit with mohair alone. So Isabel wants to know if your carry along is like a condiment. Does it not count in stash?
Yeah, no, definitely. I love purchasing the cones of yarn from Holst. And yes. I work hard to keep a good color palette on that. So yeah, I am in my office, which is just over here. I have a whole shelf of cones, and yeah, I would treat them as condiments. But I would treat mohair and Surrey too as condiments. I don't know.
Have you seen the new yarn by Holst?
I haven't. No, but I've been watching you guys about it.
It's amazing. Yeah. It is so amazing. So it's a little bit thicker than a mohair, so it gives you that fabric that kind of fills in the way you're talking about with the when you hold it with something lighter. But it just is. It feels. I can't even describe it. It's just.
If anybody has any sensitivities with mohair, it's perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I had to buy a lot of the Titicaca after you guys were with that, I think last year. So I have a good stash of that.
We're not going to be held responsible.
No. Yeah. No. I'm grateful. Grateful. No blame game here. No. Holst is great. I have stuff from Woolly Knit from the UK too. I like them. It's not as it's a heavier yarn than Holst, but I use it interchangeably. But I really, really love Holst. I love their colors. Mm-hmm. And we can ship that right from Denmark, which I know you can too. And it's very, very cost effective. So
very
well, and it gets here. It gets here faster than if I order something in Canada.
Sometimes, yes.
Oh wow!
Except if we order from the Knitting Loft, that's almost next day delivery.
But like a lot of places in Canada, it takes longer to get here than ordering from Holst.
Oh, amazing! Yeah. No, it's an amazing company. I've got the Cielo, which I wanted to try for a cable pattern that I'm itching to. Which I can never remember the name, but an Ego Knits.
She has some beautiful patterns.
From sleeve to sleeve, the cable.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
I was hoping to use the Cielo for that and then make it light as air. It's kind of
would be amazing.
Yeah, that's just I've got a few more design things that I've got to clip through first.
Sharon has a question here. She says that she has a stash of Remix and Remix Light, as well as some Drops Bell. And she's wondering, would your new sweater pattern work for any of them? Your Burmy. I'm guessing the Burmy Basic.
Burmy Basic, absolutely. And I wouldn't have to think twice about it. Which gauge, it's totally up to you and whatever. Remix and Remix Light. And I have a funny feeling. I was just looking at Remix this afternoon. Remix is...
the worsted version.
Yeah, worsted.
Yeah.
And then the Remix Light would be
like a light DK.
A light DK.
Yeah.
And it's a cotton blend. There's some recycled yarn in it. It's a Barocco yarn. We really like it. It's very soft and sweatshirty feeling to wear. Yeah. And it has a cotton in it that holds up really well. So
so I think those would be great for the Burmy Basic. The other one that coming out, I'm not sure if, I mean, you could probably do it in worsted, but I can't remember. 19 stitch gauge there. Mm-hmm. But Burmy Basic would fit absolutely everything, and you could, no questions asked. And I feel like someone's knit the Burmy Basic in in one of those sort of transitional yarns recently, and it looked great, but I can't remember. I'm not good at names. I'm really sorry.
Okay, someone asked the name of the new Holst. The new Holst yarn is called Lucia. I don't know if you pronounce that Lucia or Lucia.
I would probably guess Lucia because they have Santa
Lucia.
They have Santa.
Oh, that's right, the festival.
Yeah, which is December 6th. Yeah, but
so
no, it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm enjoying working with it. So probably some of it will end up in a Burmy Basic somewhere along the way.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for the 28 stitch one because I really want to do a whole sweater in that.
Well, I've got that. I've got that lined up for the next test knit. So hopefully it'll work out timing wise for you, maybe mid-March. The 28. I think the other request was. Oh gosh, now see, this is my problem. You can see why I've had to separate it because now I have spreadsheets all over my computer in Excel. I can't remember the other stitch gauge. 28, 16.
Okay.
16 and 28 will be
Okay.
the next round. And then I've got just a few more left to do. And then I might just go bundle them and try and get them through without getting completely confused. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Beth, we really want to thank you for taking the time to be on and share it with us. And we're excited about your patterns. And I know I get a lot of wear and compliments whenever I wear one of your sweaters. So
absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much. You guys have always been really amazing advocates for my designs, and I really truly appreciate it, and always enjoy chatting with you both. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So have fun in Bermuda, and I'm sure we'll see you sometime.
I hope
Let us know when you come. Let us know when you come to Toronto.
Yes. Well,
and maybe we can work something out.
Definitely.
Yeah. And if not before, I'm assuming we will see you back in Rhinebeck this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd probably be in Toronto for sure before, but yeah, Rhinebeck is such a great weekend. But thank you so much, ladies. And
everybody's thanking you in the chat here too. So it was they all loved hearing your views on knitting and all about your designs and
good.
So
good. Well, thanks everyone.
Okay. So we'll see you later, Beth. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're already pretty late here, so maybe we should just save our stuff for next week. Or was there anything you wanted to show?
No, everything that I have that I'm working on can be shown next week. We're at an hour and 21 minutes. And thank you to everybody for hanging in a little bit longer with us tonight. But it's so much fun. You just get talking, and I could have chatted a lot longer.
And it's just fun to hear how the design thought process is. Like, I honestly thought if I was designing, it would be the design first and then think about the yarn, and not the other way around. But, but realistically, that's what we do. We buy yarn, and then we figure out what we're going to do with that yarn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and sometimes it may take us years to figure it out.
Right. So, but anyways, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We hope that everybody has an amazing week, and we'll talk a little bit more. We don't have anything finishing up before next week, but we'll talk a little bit more about the Makealongs that we've got going on next week. But just, take the week, enjoy your knitting, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, and I'll be back in Canada then too.
That's right. You'll be back in Canada soon before next week.
Yes, for sure. Okay. Take care, everybody. Happy knitting.